It's the new hit list on 102.7 KISS FM. My name is Kayla. I'm with someone who is the voice behind some of the most iconic songs for so long, Adam Levine. Hi.
What's up?
Thank you so much for being here and sitting with me.
It's good to be here.
I know Maroon 5 has a lot in store for the second half of the year. You talked about an album coming. You talked about a tour. iHeartRadio Music Festival was just announced the other day.
Yep.
So Maroon 5's 8th studio album is coming. Let's start with that. What would you say is the emotional DNA of the album? Is it love? Is it heartbreak? Is it growth?
Emotional DNA. It's good. I like that. I like that name for it. I'll name the album that.
Oh my gosh, wouldn't that be amazing if you named the album
Emotional
that?
DNA. I
And
like
then give
that
me
a
some
lot.
credit.
I know I have to give you all the credit, actually. It'll be like, straight up, that was you. Wow. I think this is a really interesting question because the answer to that question is kind of a little complicated. I think that this all the way around was so stream of consciousness, so I didn't really think much about what I was saying. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I got into the booth and had an idea, or I started with a guitar, or started with a beat, or someone, played me a chord progression, and I would write to these ideas, but I would do it like kind of on the fly. So at first I would just kind of blah, 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 blah. And then I would, okay, well, it makes sense of the blah, blah, blah. Well, that's a cool melody there. And so by the time the song was kind of done, all of a sudden there would be these words, and it wasn't like I sat and I deliberately said, okay, I'm going to write, and here's what I'm feeling right now, and here's how I'm thinking. And I didn't use my head. I just kind of used my flow, I guess you could say, for lack of a better word. And then what you get is what you get. I can't explain it. I think that I can decode things or find things now, like after the fact, that, oh, that must be about that. Or, oh, that must kind of. So I think it's very honest and raw.
I like that.
Yeah. And not always about me, by the way.
Okay.
Sometimes it's just about
Stories from other people that you grab.
Totally.
Okay.
It's just about everyone.
Experiences, life experiences.
Exactly.
How do you balance staying true to the band's true sound, but also, evolving with each album and keeping up with the times and the trends nowadays?
Well, we do a really bad job at that, but I think that that's probably why we're who we are. Is because I nowadays also too, like, because we spent so many years writing songs with like the pop industrial songwriting like complex of like these people write the songs, and we're writing the songs with those people, and like the now I feel like kind of we've gone back to what we used to do, which is like not pay attention to anything at all like that, and just go. I mean, this was like a very isolated album making experience. Like I was in, we live in Santa Barbara now, and I was in a room with very few people and producing the music kind of organically. So like, I don't really know what the hell, I don't know, Priceless is a good example. Like it's about as organic as it gets, right? So like, it doesn't follow any trends really, I don't think. Okay. And so I think that's good.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of how we stuck out in the beginning when we first started our career. Like, I don't think we fit in anywhere. I think that was, in fact, like one of the biggest concerns for the record labels that we were trying to sign to is like, oh, well, these guys fit in. They're like a pop group, but they're a band, but they're so not fitting in is kind of what I'm most comfortable with.
Okay.
And I think now we're kind of starting to not fit in again, which is great.
I love that. Going back to the original Maroon 5 sound is amazing. And but is there any unexpected sounds that we can expect, or even unexpected collaborations?
Definitely some unexpected collaborations. One in particular I can think about and not give away right now, but I think that everyone's going to freak out about and love.
Rapper or not?
Rapper.
Oh, okay. That's
I'll
a little
give you
hint.
that.
Okay.
I'll give you that. But so the thing is, like, this album, honest to God, it is half of the album is songs like kind of in the Priceless vein.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other half of the record is like straight, we spliced together like crazy, obscure soul samples and put beats to them and guitar parts, and all of a sudden made these like Frankenstein monster kind of things, where these like modern soul tunes like that feel really different and fresh for us.
Yeah.
And a lot of different kinds of melodies came out of me, and I don't know, people are not going to think it's us necessarily in the beginning, but there's definitely a common thread, like, my voice, but it's interesting. It's very different.
Okay.
Like, some of it is very different.
So Priceless isn't a standalone moment. It sets the tone for what's to come.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely. It's definitely a great first one because it does kind of speak to a lot of the different things we pulled from on this one.
Okay. So yeah, collaboration with Lisa, which is amazing.
Love
Can
her.
you tell us how that came about? Who contacted who first? How did that happen?
You know, it's funny. We hit her up because I remember being like, man, this needs a female voice, but you know, what's an unexpected collab? You know, I always like that. I never like it to be too expected, too on the nose. Also, the most important thing to me is who can finish the song, because I think that the best collabs are real collabs. I think it got to a point where in music, like it just became like, oh, you have to have someone featured on the record and this and that, and there's all the business attached to it. But for me, it's like now, especially, who's gonna help me complete the thought? And she really did. Like she did an incredible job. Like that to me, that verse like made the whole song. Like, really made it all come together. So she did an amazing, fantastic job. I love her.
Yeah. How did this collaboration stretch your artistry? Just working with her, did she push you guys in any unexpected way that you're like, wow, like I'm learning from the up and coming generation?
Just a different perspective, like lyrically, I think was cool. You know, I think I had my weird lyrics to it, and it was my whole it was all very much me. And then I think her verse made me realize that it needed another perspective.
Got it.
And when she brought that, it like elevated the song a lot.
And this was y'all's first time working with a K-pop artist in the K-pop space. So how was it any different than working with any other collaborator?
No, I mean, like she's so mellow.
She is.
It's funny because there's a lot surrounding her. You know, there's obviously her intense popularity that everybody knows Lisa.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of her fans are like the most passionate human beings on the earth.
Yeah.
I wish my fans loved me as much. Damn.
They do.
But yeah, like, so there's a whole culture surrounding
Lisa.
So you'd think it's this big, larger than life personality, but also she's just like the chillest person.
Yeah, she's super sweet.
Love her.
I love this song because it's like it's that song that you would send to your boo thing. Like, I'm thinking of you. Like, it's like an ode to a rare connection. I love it so much. So how do you balance personal storytelling with mainstream appeal when writing a song like this?
Well, it's funny because I think for this one, this was just straight up just about Beyoncé. Like, this is just about my lady. That's when it's easy, right? But then you got to kind of let yourself go and open not every song can just be about how great your personal relationship is. It has to also be about, you have to open your mind up. That's why I was talking about stream of consciousness, right? So you should let your mind kind of run wild when you're writing music, because it can't always just be a love song.
Yeah.
Things can't always be perfect. And so you have to draw on other things. Because I remember, like, that was when I was young and I was in and out of relationships and I was not, in the position in life I'm in now, it was easier to draw on those things because a lot of them were super toxic and like not always perfect and like they messy. Like when you're messy as a person, especially when you're young, hopefully you get it figured out a little bit later. But yeah, like it's easy to let that all go. But then I think you got to draw from another source at a certain point, right?
Yeah.
So for me, you look at everything else, and outside of your own lens, and that helps you kind of write music about other things.
Yeah. You are performing at the iHeartRadio Music Festival. Will the album be out before then? Can you tell us that?
Album will be out. Yes, the album. Correct. That is correct.
Before September 19th and 20th.
The album will be out soon. Yeah,
okay.
in about a month.
Perfect. So you've played on just about every stage, big, small, tiny clubs, stadiums. Looking back, is there a show that you performed at that still gives you chills thinking about it?
Yeah. We performed at a Live 8. It was in Philly, and we sang with Stevie Wonder. I got to sing with Stevie that day. And besides being one of the most like frightening moments ever having to do that, because he's one of my heroes.
Legend.
I'll never forget it because it was just like the whole city of Philadelphia was out there. It was like 1 million. I think it might have been like 1 million people. It was insane. It was the whole city. And I was singing with Stevie, and I was just like, wow, like how am I ever going to beat this?
Can you top that? Stevie Wonder, what?
No,
so with that history behind you, what energy are you bringing to the iHeartRadio Music Festival stage?
All the energy.
Yeah?
We're going to bring it all. We're just excited, man. We're excited to get back out there again and tour and play live shows and play iHeart. And, it's been almost a decade since we played the iHeart Festival. And just go at it again, man. Like, I feel like the band feels so fortunate. We're so lucky to have been doing it for this long. it's amazing to even just to have 5 minutes in this world, but
Yeah.
to have 20 plus years doing this at a high level like this,
Yeah.
it just blows our mind. So we are in such a positive way right now, and can't wait to put on like the best shows we ever put on.
Yeah. At this point in your career, what makes a performance personal to you and stand out, other than just it being a great show and the crowd reacted great, but to you personally, and you get off that stage feeling so fulfilled? What has to happen on that stage?
Just interaction. I
Yeah.
think we live in such a crazy, world where there's like, I don't like when there's any separation between what's going on with the band or the artist on stage and the audience. I think the more you involve everybody you're playing for, the better the vibe. It's easier just to put on a big, expensive, extravagant, crazy show, which is very entertaining, but it's harder to establish real personal connection with people and to make everyone feel like they're a part of what's happening. To me, that's the hardest thing to do. And if you can do that, like, you're the best in town. Like, nobody can beat that. So I want it to be scaled to the people that are in their arenas that paid their hard-earned money to come and see you play. And, I want them to feel like they are leaving with having had like a different experience and weren't just kind of like talked at or performed at, but involved somehow.
Well, we cannot wait to see you perform at the iHeartRadio Music Festival. Before I let you go, one last question. What is your favorite deep cut Maroon 5 song that you think fans should show more love to?
Dang.
Yeah, think that whole catalog.
So my favorite Maroon, one of my favorites that was one that I always had high hopes for, that I always wished had been a bigger song, was I Won't Go Home Without You.
Okay.
I love that song.
It's a good song.
Yeah.
Show more love to it, everybody.
Come on, everybody.
Adam Levine, thank you so much for hanging out with me on the new hit list. We can't wait to see you perform later this year.
All right.
Have a good one.
Thank you.